In a fun junk journal dream, DJ's crafting grungy scenes. Hither and Yon, where friends all meet. Paper glue and vintage treats.
Hello, my crafty friends. Welcome to Hither and Yon Studio. If you've been here before, welcome back, friends. Thanks for coming back. We're working in our December journal, Winter Friends. It's a free mini junk journal kit that you can get all throughout the month of December 2025. If you have not received yours or have not actually opted in to get yours, all the details are in the description box below and in the pinned comment. This is the cutest little mini album. I am just in love with it. It's got a bunch of stoats and other fun woodland creatures in it, and just cuties. They're everywhere. Anyway, it's free, so go get it, and then you can craft along with us. So I worked ahead to try to move this along for you guys. So I cut all my pages in half and I inked them. And then I threw in some extra pages that I had of some grungy papers. I had this blue paper, this coffee dyed paper, just some extra pages that I had around to kind of fill out my signatures. I've printed everything on my Nina card stock. You can find it in my Amazon shop, which is also in the description box. Under the title of the video, you click more, and then it opens up the description and all the details are in there. To get your kit, you can also check the pinned comment. But if you want to check out the Amazon shop, it's in the description. Okay, enough of that. I made 3 signatures. Actually, he's going to go first. This is how they're going to lay out. And I'm going to do a fabric cover. So I have this really amazing fabric that was sent to me by Lisa Fisher. She does ice dyeing on fabric, and she had this fabric. She sent this to me months ago. And I'm finally going to use this blue one, which this is my favorite out of all of them. I love these colors. I love this linen type fabric. So we're going to use that for the cover. The cover that I picked is just made from some thin chipboard. This was the back of, I think, my tracing paper pad. And so I just cut it up to pieces that were 5 inches by 6 inches. And these are going to be the front and the back. And then this is 6 inches by 1.5 inch if you want to make the same type of thing. But I really just, kind of measured it and added maybe a 1/2 inch. So that's how I got to my measurements. Nothing fancy. So I have that. I did cut out all my ephemera. I started inking, so some of it is already inked. I don't know how much we'll use of this today because we're just going to assemble the journal, but some of it still has to be inked. But you got a bunch of it. I separated them because one's inked and one's not. I didn't cut out my words or anything yet. But I did do a couple of other things, so I'll show you those. I printed on the other side of these big sheets of paper, and this is just some coffee dyed paper that I made and then scanned in, and I use it to print out on the back side of pages sometimes. I just love the way it looks. So I have all these printed out. I'm ready to go if I need some backup, which I don't know if I'll need that today. And then I reprinted this page and one of these pages on these labels. So these are Avery, actually they're the Staples brand, and they're 1 inch by 2 5/8 address labels. Address labels. And I just printed off a sheet on top of these so I could peel these off and use them as accents on the pages. I do this a lot. It's a great little trick. It's like your own little washi tape or label tape. So I do this with a lot of different pages, and then I can just tear it off, and it's already sticky because it's an address label, and I can just put it in my journal. So I printed 2 pages that we can use throughout because the colors match. I'm kind of going with this brown and blue theme if you haven't figured it out yet. What else do I have? Oh, I have, for my cover, I think I'm going to do a little frame on it. So I have one of these pre-cut frames. They kind of look like this. This one's grungied up because I put a tea bag on top of it. But it's these frames that have, they're already printed and cut out of chipboard. And I think they're Tim Holtz maybe. But this one I went over with some gesso, and then I'm going to paint it up with this Craft Smart metallic paint. This one is Blue Ice Pearl, and it kind of looks like this. I was testing it earlier. So I'm going to do that, and then I might put some crystals on it. I have these. I haven't even opened them yet. I got these on sale at Michael's last year at the end of the season. And they look like little ice crystals. So I might use these to kind of add some accents after I paint this. We'll see if we get to this today. I don't know, but my thought was with that is I'll put it on the cover, and then I'm going to put this guy in there, because look, it's not what? No, we can't not do that. So that's the plan with that. All right, so let's make our cover. If you've done this before, you probably don't have to watch this part. But if you're new here, or this is new to you, then you might want to watch. So I'm going to do a hidden spine. Am I going to do a hidden spine? Yeah, I'm going to do a hidden spine just because I don't want to punch through the fabric. So that's what I'm going to do. But am I going to have to punch through the fabric anyway? No, I'm going to do a hidden spine. Okay. Anyway, I cut a piece of the fabric. I didn't iron it or anything because I'm going to kind of glue it down. I don't think I'll have to. I'm not sure, and you know what I didn't do was test my glue. So let me just take off. I hate to waste any of this, but I have to test some of it. So let me just take a little swatch. None of these are going to cut this, but let's see if I can get a little piece. I want to do it, a test to see if my glue is going to seep through, and these are the worst possible scissors. I don't have a pair of fabric scissors sitting here. Just to see how much, if any, of the glue is going to seep through. I'll do a light coat anyway. You could use a spray adhesive anytime you have a material where the glue is going to show through. I just want to put a little on so that it doesn't move on the front and back, but I just want to see because it's not really that thick. So I'm more worried about like when I press. See how you can kind of see the glue? That's what I'm a little worried about. All right, so maybe I'll just keep some dollops in the center. Really, all I want it to do on the front is not move. I don't want it to shimmy around when I put these down. On this side, I don't care too much because I'm going to fold it over and then cover it with another piece of paper. It's the front and the back that I'm most worried about when I glue it in place. And I'm going to glue it with almost no space there on the spine. All right, well, let's just go for it. I can always cover it up with that frame. So I'm just going to go very light. I don't want any gobs, and I just want it so that it doesn't move around on the cover. So I'm barely pressing any glue out. Okay, that's for this side. That's going to go face down. And actually, I think I want this for the cover. It's a little prettier. Let's see how we did. Yeah, so, okay, so the glue's not really seeping through or anything. I just don't want it to kind of, like if I don't glue it at all and I have the paper here, it'll kind of move around. So that's the only thing I'm trying to prevent. Okay, I think we're good. So again, these were 5" by 6" and then 1.5" by 6" for the spine. So the 6 is the tall, the height. Height. There's no H. Well, there's no H at the end. All right, and then this one. Again, just really light. So the hidden spine means that I'm going to attach my signatures to a different piece of paper than the spine and then glue it in place. And then I'll glue some paper over top of it. So we'll do that today together. You can see how that works. All right, I need my fabric scissors. I'm gonna have to cut this down a little bit. I didn't do it very good. And then I'm gonna miter these corners. This is fine. This, I just want to trim this stuff off. I think other than that, we're good. Come on, glue, just hold it in place. Hold it in place. I hope you're all having fun and enjoying this free monthly kit. Drop me a comment and let me know where you're watching from. I'm interested to see where everybody is from and how you found me. I always like to see where everybody's tuning in from. This is my front cover here. Okay, so now I'm just gonna fold these over. I'll start at the top up here. And again, I'm not too worried about this glue, though I will spread it a little. I don't need it super thick. I'm gonna put a piece of paper over this, so it's not that big. And this is what I'm using, my Fabrifix. Also in my Amazon shop, so if you want to get that. If you don't have it, I don't know if this is one of those, well, this one I know. I don't think these solvent type glues are available in like the UK and that. But there's certain areas they also won't ship certain glues because of the temperatures. So if you can't get it in your area right now and it's colder, that might be why. Usually though, you can find it in the craft store or like a fabric store. If you can't get it online, I don't know that this is one of the ones that they do that with. I think they do it with the art glitter glue for sure. And put a little extra in those corners so I can kind of pull them down. Just want a nice clean corner. Feel free to use a glue stick if the paste glue things, if you don't want to use your hands. Probably not the best idea to use my hand tool with the solvent based glue. Something's gonna take me out, right? Something's gonna do it. Might as well have fun. All right, so that is my main cover, like so. So yeah, because I used a light bit of glue, you can't really see anything there. Actually, this is my front. And then, even if I did, I could just cover it up with this guy. So I think I'm going to put him, I'll probably put like maybe another piece of fabric under it, maybe a brown piece or something, but I'm just kind of giving you an idea of where I'm going to go with this. And then maybe even a pocket. I don't know. But if you're going to do like a closure that wraps around, you should consider where that's going to be and how you're going to throw that together. You know, where the closure will attach. I'm probably just going to do mine on the inside with a tie. I like those. They're very easy to do. So that's what I'm going to do. This is very flexible because this isn't a heavyweight chipboard. Like I said, it was the back of my tracing paper pad. So I just kept it and then cut the pieces out of it. So it's really thin and flexible, which is fine with. Okay, so now we need to pick the cover paper, and I think I'm going to use the blue flowers because I really love them. And oh, the fur's nice too, though. Let's see. I got the fur, and there's the flowers there. Oh, I kind of like the fur better. I thought I was going to go with the flowers, but I kind of like the way this one looks. So I need a piece for this center here too. I just have to keep that in mind. So I'm going to cut this to fit in this side. And then I have to do a piece that's going to kind of extend over, which I think I can get out of the bottom. But we'll see. If not, I'll use a piece of something else. But I think I can get it from down here. So let's trim this. I'm not going to glue these down yet, but I want to have them cut so I can get my other piece out of there. Because that's what I'm going to have to sew my signatures to. And then this one is going to go see there. And then the other one I'll cut the same. So I'm just going like with maybe giving a 1/4 inch around. So these will kind of sit here and here, but they'll go on top of this one. So this has to be cut down to this height. And then we just have to figure out where we're putting our signatures. Okay, so this is going to live in here. And let's see if I can score it to make my life a little easier. I'm not going to score it hard. I'm just going to score it lightly so it can fold on those fold lines, and I'll know where my center is.
Hey crafty friend, DJ jumping in here with a little interruption to say hello. Welcome to my channel, and thank you if you've been here for a while. I truly appreciate you being here to support the channel. And if you're new here, maybe consider subscribing if you enjoy junk journaling, paper crafting, or just crafty chat in general. I also wanted to remind everyone that I do go live every Friday at noon Eastern. So if you like live chat and crafting, then consider dropping by. You can find the video under my lives tab and hit notify to be notified when I actually go live. And also there is channel membership if you'd like to take an extra step to support the channel. It's $4.99 a month, and you can hit the little join button under the video, or maybe it's over here on TV. I don't know, it's somewhere around here. But if you join, you get an extra live, members only, ad-free every Wednesday from 8 to 10 a.m. Eastern. So just something else you can do if you want to get a little extra something in your week. And yeah, I think that's it. Just if you're enjoying this video, maybe consider giving it a thumbs up. It really does help the channel grow and help YouTube give this content out to other crafty peeps who might be interested in it. So that's all. Back to the video. Bye.
Like that. I'll probably have to finagle. I'll finagle with it. But for now, let's see. I'm going to go to this side because it'll be easier to see my marks. And this should be about 1.5 inches. So I think I'll go at 3/4 for my center. Is it 1.5? Yeah. So, and then I'll come 1/4 in. So 3/4. And then 1/4 here and 1/4 here. So that's my 3 signatures. Quarters, 1/4 in this way, 1/4 in that way, 1/4 here, 1/4 there. And then kind of want to line this up and draw some of that. And these are basically where my signatures are going to sit. That's not very even, is it? No, it is not. Is it better? You always have to consider the width of the lead. This one's bothering me. Sometimes it's an optical illusion, you know? All right, I think we're good. And then I just need a little piece. Can't take it from there. Can't take it from there. I just need a scrap. So this has to be the same as this. Just going to make the template for my signatures. So I'm going to make it the same length. It doesn't matter the width. I'm just going to fold it in half. Now, if you have another way of sewing your signatures in that you enjoy, do your way. You don't have to do it my way. I just find this easier for me. And then this is going to serve as the center inside these. So I'm going to kind of tuck it in. I'm going to mark where my top is. And then I'm just going to kind of lay it so there's a little over on this side, a little over on that side. I'm just going to eyeball where the center is, and then I'm going to come up a little on this side and this side. And if you have any papers in here that are like a half, you want to consider, you always want to have at least 2 holes through those pages. So if you have something that's not quite the full length of the signature, just make sure you're getting it in a spot, like move it up to the top or down to the bottom so you're piercing it with at least 2 holes. All right, so I think that's good. So now I have to transfer this to these so that everything lines up. Should have just used this pen. I say lined up and then my paper lined up. Let's try that again. Now I'm still on the back of this paper. So this is my top, so this has to be my top. I always have to, because these are not necessarily evenly spaced, and that's why I have. But if you're measuring, if you're, a ruler girly and you like to measure and be precise, then you can do it that way. Just measure up from the bottom and down from the top. And I am not good at measuring, so. All right, and that's where my holes are going to get punched. And then when I put this inside, inside my signatures, I'll know where I'm punching them as well. So just gonna get a little book here. Okay, that's my top. So on this side is where I'll actually be sewing through after I punch these. So when I do these, I'm going to clip them first. And I'm going to take my template with the T at the top. I'm going to kind of center it in here and push it in there really, really good. Hold it and then clip it. Okay, and I'm going to do that with the other side. Hold it, clip it. There's a little tail evenly out on both sides, so hopefully this will be pretty centered. I'm going to put my all on that hole, and then I'm going to make sure my fingers are out of the way, fold this kind of in and pierce it. And that makes sure that I get through the center of the spines rather than coming over here. Sometimes if you pierce it and your pages are wide open, it kind of comes out over here. So I kind of push them together as I'm piercing. Okay. And then I'll leave my clips in place so that these don't get misaligned. And I'll get some more clips and we'll do the rest. Okay, same way, T at the top. Make sure your pages are all in the direction you want them in. Let's come up a little bit more. If I don't get them all aligned right, then one will be sitting higher than the other inside the journal. And maybe you like that, and that's fine, and you can do that. The less signatures that you have, the easier this is. If you're not using super thick paper, it's a lot easier as well. And our last little guy here. T-top. They go together pretty quick, and once you've done a few, you get really used to the feel for things. You stop putting holes in your hands. It gets easier. So if you're just getting started, don't get discouraged. I was all thumbs when I first started, and now it's like second hand. So old hat. Okay, so those are done, and now they have to get sewn into here. So I have a needle, and I have some waxed thread. I've picked this gray color because I thought it went well. And I am just going to thread this through here. Okay, and the size of the thread, I just took approximately 3 lengths, 1, 2, 3, and then I always go a little more just so I don't have an issue. All right, so T-top has to be at the top, and this is my first signature, so I'm going to sew it into these first 3 holes. I'm going to go in through the center. Let me move this. Okay, in through the center. And I'm going to pull this through as far as I can, and I'm going to clip it so I don't pull it all the way through. All right, and then I'm going to, it doesn't matter up through the top or down, through the bottom. It doesn't matter. You just got to pick one. And then through the top here. It's paper, it's fiber. It tends to close up on itself. So you might have to open it again. All right, so up through the top. And then we're going to come down all the way past the middle to the bottom. Okay, don't worry about it being super tight at this point. And then I'm coming back through this middle. Make sure you don't pierce your thread because then it won't tighten. And then back through the center. Okay, and I try to stay away from that other thread. And then, okay, I can do that. I can take this off. I can take these off. Now, you don't want to tighten it with these on. And then we just kind of firm it up. So pull it from the top down and the bottom up and just pull it through that center. You want everything kind of like guitar string tight, but not so tight that you're tearing your pages. So again, I know a lot of you have done this before. This is like, you don't have to watch this part. I do this each time just in case there's somebody new watching. I always appreciated every little step when I was getting started, so I try to show it each time. I never know who's watching what. All right, and then we're going to tie a knot. I want to make sure my strings are on either side of the centerpiece. Tie a knot and another knot. And I'm going to leave my strings loose. All right, so that's my first signature. We're going to sew our second one into here. That's going to be this guy for me. And you can have as many signatures as you want. I like 3 for these mini journals. It just seems to work with the index weight cardstock. If you're using copy paper, maybe you can fit more. But I want to be able to build out my pages, so I need some room. All right, so again, through the center and through the center of our back. And through the top. I like to kind of do them separately, just easier for me to see. Okay. All right, coming down to the bottom. And this is always the trickiest part, is going back through the center, right? I'm trying not to wrap it around the page. So back through the center. And through the center. Okay. See how I'm piercing that string? You don't want to do that. Just keep your string out of the way, because it just won't tighten. You'll be just pulling your thread against your other thread. So, all right. This can get out of the way. These can come out. And then I can tighten this one up. Oh, this one went through my back a little. That's okay. See how it tore down? I was too aggressive. A little too aggressive. It's all good. Good enough. When I glue it down, it's not going to matter. All right, I just got to make sure one's on each side. Okay, so that's 2 signatures in. And our last one. Senta. It gets a little more fiddly as you have more signatures on here, but just take your time. That's all. Just take your time. No rush. No need to rush. Be the Bob Ross of junk journal. Happy little 3-hole pamphlets. If you're really into fun, you could try a 5-hole pamphlet stitch and really challenge yourself. You'll have to get one of those through a YouTube video, which is usually where I find it, because I never remember. Okay, so there's that. Just these tight. And sometimes when you pull them like in opposite directions, it helps that tighten up. Okay, let's stick one under the other. Double knot. The wax thread helps everything hold itself together, so it's not that big a deal. So there's our signature sewn in. And now we're going to glue this down to this. Okay, that's my front. Okay. So this is going to glue in here, and that's how you do the hidden spine, because your spine is behind the piece you're gluing down. Easy peasy. Once you do it and see it and do it a couple of times, it becomes so easy. So if it looks intimidating now, don't you worry. it will be second nature once you do it a couple of times. This is one of the easiest crafts to learn. I think the hardest part of junk journaling or journaling, you know, this kind of crafty journaling, whatever you want to call it, is really the decorating, right? Because we all have our own style and we want things to look a certain way. So to me, it's kind of getting that part right. This stuff becomes like routine. All right, so I'm gonna see where that first fold is. I want it centered between the top and the bottom. Like I want enough, you know, the same space between the top and the bottom, between like where it ends and my paper starts. Once you get it where you got it and where you need it, just press it down really good, and then you need to let it dry. Just let it dry all the way. Don't mess with it. Let it dry. I'm going to move on, but you should let it dry flat. Because the hardest part of this is when you fold it and this pops up, or these pop up. It's just annoying, and then you have to re-glue it. And so if you just leave it and let it dry really good, then you tend to not have that. You want to get in here and really press it in. So that's where it's going to be most vulnerable, on all these edges. So just make sure they're good and dry, so that when you fold it, it lays flat. See, it even wants to come up here. So let it dry really good. All right, I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to put my end papers down. So I think I want this one here. Actually, I want this one here. And I'm just going to ink around it because I forgot to do that. And everything else in here is inked, so I kind of want that inked. I'll probably ink the cover a little too, right onto the fabric. And if you like to sew, it's nice to put a little stitch in here. You could also frame it with some washi tape, if you like to use washi tape. You could doodle. Do a little doodling. All right. And this, I want a good amount of glue on this. The last thing I want this to do is lift. Okay, especially on my edges. But you don't want it so goppy and goopy that it's seeping out all over the place. So it's a delicate balance. Just make sure where you're laying it down on that middle piece that there's a good amount of, here is where mine's going to lay, because I don't want this to lift. And then I'm going to line up the top. I should have inked up there, but I didn't. Oh well. Shh. Okay, and I see a pencil mark here, so I kind of want to get that out of there. Make sure all your corners are really down good. These are your vulnerable points. Your corners, your edges. Okay, other side. Let's ink. It comes together quick. I hope you'll play along with the rest of the videos, guys. Tell me who your favorite creature is in the kit. Mine are obviously the Stoats, since I had to put them in. Somebody said they love the birdie and the knit cap, and their hubby didn't understand why it was so cute. And I said, well, how could you not find that adorable? I guess you can't. It's not a learned thing. It's just in you. Okay. And this one. Ooh. Okay, and then that holds that whole thing down for you. And then this won't lift. And you have your nice hidden spine. Okay, I didn't put anything down that I'm going to wrap up my journal with, which I should have, but that's okay. I'll find something else. I can put it under the frame. I was going to put it under these pieces, but it's all good. I think I can just kind of have it come out of the frame. So that's that. Okay. And maybe we'll put a little bit while that's drying. I'm going to leave it open to dry. I'll put a little paint on this. I'll show you that paint again. It's a Craft Smart metallic blue ice pearl. I don't know how well it's going to do, but let's find out together. I think it'll be fine. This way this can dry, and then I can hit it with some of those sparkles. Have a real wintry feel, you know? We don't want you in there. Hitchhiker. I put a little gesso, if I didn't say that, I put a little gesso on this so that the paint would stick better, because these pieces have almost like a little shiny surface, like a semi-gloss. It's definitely not matte. And this paint is, and I used a white gesso instead of clear, because this paint is sort of translucent, and I didn't want that coming through. There's a little you can see, like with the gray there, which is fine. I like that, actually, the way that turned out. The back was already white. I didn't intentionally get any gesso back there. I didn't intentionally avoid it either. It's just nobody's going to see it, so it just came white. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. That's good. I like it. It's just like a little frosty look. So that's what I wanted. I'm going to leave this. I have a piece of wax paper I'll put, or like this. I think it'll be fine on here. All right, and so that's part one. Well, part two. Part one was showing you what's inside. So this is part two. Like I said, I'm going to put my little frame on the front. I'm going to look for a piece of like burlap or some kind of, I have some, hold on, let me see, hold on. I'll show you if I can. Yeah, I have some of these pieces that I rusted and coffee dyed. I think this one's just coffee dyed. But maybe I'll take a section of this, maybe this one, because it's kind of cool. Maybe put that under it, and then put this kind of wonky, so it's not, well, even. I might sew around this. You'll find out in the next video. But yeah, that's what I'm kind of going to go with. Yeah, something like that. But that's where we are. And now we have our signatures in place. Our little stoats and birds and fun. There's deer in here. Get your kit down from the description box or the pinned comments. And I will see you in part 3 next Thursday. Have a great rest of your day or night. And thanks for hanging out. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. And if you're new here, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.